Back to reality. A lot of us heading back to work. Hopefully you're just on vacation and up real early. We've got some warm temperatures across the country. Hotspot right now is Lillooet, BC, currently sitting at 20.4 degrees Celsius. Hey, Eastern Canada, sunshine. Sunshine today, sunshine tomorrow. We've got high pressure at play through Ontario and Quebec, which means finally it feels like summer for most communities. So something to look forward to. Part of the reason why the weather is so benign for the next couple of days has to do with what's called a zonal pattern in our jet stream. So you can see our green line, our jet stream is rather flat for the next couple of days. And that actually means good news. It means there's not a lot of active weather. There are still a few showers to watch out for this morning in Newfoundland through Corner Brook, heading over to Burgeo as well. Gander, I think you have a better chance at staying dry. And down towards New Brunswick. This morning, we've got some showers just beginning to creep in towards Fredericton. Later on this afternoon, we also have a risk of some showers. But like I said, the sun is on in full force, and we've got very warm temperatures today in Ontario, into Quebec as well. You're seeing temperatures fairly seasonal, 25 today in Montreal, 24 in Quebec City. And over to Atlantic Canada, the temperatures are not bad at all. But as we head into the afternoon, it is very possible that we'll see the likelihood of umbrellas needed through southern New Brunswick, heading into portions of Nova Scotia as well, then up towards Newfoundland. Possible that we could see some thunderstorms developing, not just into Atlantic Canada, also through southern Quebec, Montreal, and into the eastern townships. But mostly these are convective showers. So enjoy the sunshine that you have, at least to start your day off. And guys, there's more of it tomorrow. That's a look at Eastern Canada. Now here's your local forecast.
We're all watching and waiting, and she said, no, we are clear until 9 o'clock. And there were people who were naysayers, and you know who you are, but they were wrong. And Kelsey was right.
I had to shoot a couple of E-Talk episodes right after we were done. And the drizzle was starting, and we barely made it. It took us another 30 minutes to record, and we barely made it. But thanks to you, we knew that we were on fairly solid ground.
Yeah, I got your back. Hey, I just have to, the Calgarian in me just has to go back a little bit in our show where we said yeehaw coming up for the Stampede.
But yes.
We did.
Yes, I'm not owning that.
I just want to clarify that it's Yahoo.
It is Yahoo.
For Stampede, which, by the way, kicks off on Friday. And the reason why it's so exciting to look forward to that is because now that 150 is all done and the rain has moved its way out, sunshine has rolled its way in right across the country. And so looking forward to, we've actually got some beautiful weather to talk about in Eastern Canada, where the sun has returned in full force across many communities. And this is rather exciting because Western Canada has been soaking up the sun for quite a while now, save for some storms we'll talk about in just a second. But now we're starting to see that mild weather stretch right across the country from the Pacific to the Atlantic coast. So today, enjoy sunshine for the most part in Ontario, Quebec, with just variable cloudiness and a few showers into Atlantic Canada. This afternoon, we'll see enough convective heating that we'll get some showers developing in New Brunswick, Nova Scotia as well. A little more cloud and up towards Newfoundland. But you see behind me, Quebec and Ontario looks pretty good. The far northwest of Ontario, a few showers pushing in, but they're pretty scattered and they're pretty mild generally. So this continues into Wednesday as well. You have Wednesday. If you can't get outside today, don't sweat it. Tomorrow will be pretty good as well, save for central and northern Quebec where some rain will move its way through. But you see communities further south where we see a greater population look pretty awesome into Wednesday. And in fact, the temperature rises as we head into Wednesday as well. Now, Thursday, we enter into a more unsettled trend. So this means more convective showers, more thunderstorms possible right across most of Ontario and through Quebec as well. And into southern Ontario, late evening on Thursday, there's the chance we could see the development of thunderstorms as well. But before we get there, let's enjoy the sunshine today. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. This morning, if you are tuning in from Newfoundland, you've got a few showers pushing in through Corner Brook, pretty scattered. Winds are moderate at this hour, and in through New Brunswick, Fredericton, you're dealing with some rain showers to start you off. But like I said, into the afternoon, you will get some sunshine. Temperature getting up to the mid-20s today, right across the region. Touch cooler through Prince Edward Island, Charlottetown today, 19 is your daytime high. In through Quebec, pretty nice. This afternoon, there's a chance of some showers, slight showers developing through southern Quebec and into the eastern townships. Quebec City, you may get a thunderstorm as well. This is part of the same action that's heading into New Brunswick for the afternoon. Ontario, you'll stay dry, and temperatures are fairly seasonal. The average this time of year around southern Ontario is 26, 26 and a half, so just shy of that for some communities, but plenty of sun later on. Western Canada, we've got generally lots of sun for today, but the development of some thunderstorms possible right around Edmonton and in southern Manitoba as well. It's very likely we could see this morning. I can't get over that. 70. Where do you put it?
In your happy place.
Apparently, you just put it right here. That's where you put it. Hey, good morning, Canada. Happy Tuesday. As a lot of us are heading back to work, or as Anne-Marie said, hopefully you've just got the week off and you can enjoy this extended stretch of summer weather that we have really right across the country. And when we're talking about a warm-up, really it's in the west. We'll get there in just a second. But even in eastern Canada, generally pretty nice today. We've got sunshine right across Ontario, Quebec, and into Atlantic Canada. But you'll notice I've added in a bit of rain. It's just into the afternoon, really. We've got a few showers this morning creeping into New Brunswick and Newfoundland. But into this afternoon, some convective showers are possible through portions of New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, and up towards Newfoundland. Through southern Quebec, there's the risk of thunderstorm from Montreal up towards Quebec City and through the eastern townships. Ontario, you'll stay dry today. Fairly stable air masses right over the province today and into Wednesday as well. In fact, Wednesday is a touch warmer than today, but look at these highs. Nothing to scoff at. We get into some very hot weather as we hit the prairies. 32 today in Winnipeg. There is the risk of severe thunderstorm in southern Manitoba later on today. Your biggest risk factors are going to be hail, very strong winds, and heavy downpours as well. That risk also extends as we head in towards the capital region in Alberta, right around Edmonton. There is the risk of some severe thunderstorms developing later on today. Now, with this hot weather, you see 28 today in Calgary with heat warnings just outside of Calgary down towards Medicine Hat. Hot weather in BC as well. It has amplified the fire danger across Canada. So if we can take a look at a map from the national as we head through not only today, but through the rest of this week and into next week as well. Now, with this heat is also coming some thunderstorms, as I mentioned, and we've got this fabulous video that was taking lots of people fishing over the weekend, and hopefully you're enjoying summer vacation wherever you are, and you can head out to a lake and just get away from the city life, hey? So sunshine today in Ontario and Quebec. That is what we're looking forward to. Atlantic Canada, you've got variable cloudiness, but a few showers this morning in New Brunswick, and then more convective style showers later on today in New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, and then up towards Newfoundland. Prince Edward Island, you just deal with a little more cloud towards the back end of your day, but I think for the most part you stay dry. There is the slight risk later on this evening. We could see some showers with thunderstorms from about Montreal up towards Quebec City as well, but otherwise looking pretty good. Far northwest Ontario, you're tapping into some moisture that's going to pass through southern Manitoba as well. We'll detail that in just a second here. But generally, the sunshine continues tomorrow as well with a beautiful warm-up right across the Atlantic provinces as well. And it's really not until Thursday before we start to get into some more unsettled weather. That continues into early Friday morning as well. Now, Western Canada, I mean, the sunshine that's been in BC for the last, 10 days, it continues today as well. Not just in BC, but also into Alberta, Saskatchewan, and then portions of Manitoba. But there is a thunderstorm risk across southern Manitoba, particularly later on today. And your biggest risk factors are going to be large hail, heavy downpours, and really strong winds at the front leading edge of that storm that's going to push through later on around the supper hour local time. In behind that, very hot weather. In fact, we have some heat warnings to talk about in Alberta. We'll detail that coming up in the next half hour, but you will not believe how long it is going to stay above 30 degrees in portions of Alberta. I'll tell you how long coming up in the next half hour. Now here's your local forecast. Maybe, but Rider fans they're a breed of their own. I mean, the first Rough Rider game I ever went to in Saskatchewan when I was living in Regina, their forecasting, I mean, that's an experience in itself. I feel like you're not Canadian until you go to a Riders game, and it was on Canada Day. It was the perfect day, and that gentleman from the Calgary area hailed from my hometown of Airdrie as well, just north of the city. Speaking of Alberta, it is hot. I mean, we've got heat warnings, the only place in the whole country where we have heat warnings, but the rest of Canada is also enjoying some milder weather. Winnipeg this morning sitting at 19 degrees, so you're prepping for some thunderstorms. And then we've got temperatures in the high teens as we're heading over to the Atlantic as well. So we'll start first in the east, where sunshine has returned to most of Ontario and Quebec as well. There are very sunny pockets in Atlantic Canada, though we do have a few showers that are pushing across New Brunswick this morning and also up towards Newfoundland. But generally, the weather pattern is fairly benign for the next couple of days. And part of that has to do with the fact that our jet stream, generally our green line here, is going to be quite zonal over the next couple of days. There's not a lot of ridges or troughs, so we see this rather mild weather pattern across the country. It does mean, though, we're still seeing a few showers at the surface. So a few spotted showers in Newfoundland this morning that are breaking up as the morning's progressing, and then a little bit heavier as we're heading down in between Fredericton and Moncton this morning. We've got a nice pocket of rain that pushed through Fredericton earlier this morning. Now, you'll get pockets of sunshine, as I mentioned, but just know that into the afternoon, there's the risk of some convective showers, not only in New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, but also in through southern Quebec between Montreal and Quebec City. Now, speaking of thunderstorm activity, that's what we've got going on, crossing the boundary from Saskatchewan into Manitoba. A fair amount of rain this morning. No thunderstorm warnings, but a whole lot of lightning. So this is a really noisy storm northwest of Winnipeg. Winnipeg itself does have a risk of thunderstorm into the afternoon, and there's the possibility of some decent-sized hail in the far southeast of Manitoba, plus heavy downpours and very gusty winds later on today. Kind of reminiscent of the active weather in Alberta over the weekend. We've got this great video. This is west of Edmonton that's traded. Now, I mentioned the heat in the west. Now, part of the reason why it's so hot is we've got this low off in the Pacific, and this is pumping a ridge as we head through the end of the work week over BC, Alberta, and Saskatchewan. So that has prompted heat warnings in Alberta, where we're seeing just outside of Calgary all the way eastward towards Medicine Hat and the Saskatchewan boundary, an extended period of above 32-degree weather. And we're not just talking this week, you guys. Through the weekend and all of next week into the weekend after, this weather stays quite hot. So if we can show it, we've got this picture from the more spectacular, though, the fact that summer has finally arrived across much of our country, and in some areas in full force. Mother Nature is not joking around in Western Canada. But in the east, where sunshine has returned generally across Ontario, Quebec, and into Atlantic Canada, we've got temperatures in the low to mid-20s. Just shy of seasonal, but tomorrow it's even warmer. There are a few showers in New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, up towards western Newfoundland as well, and then the risk of some elevated thunderstorms through Montreal up towards Quebec City and into some of the eastern townships. That's later on today into the afternoon. But for this morning, you can see a lot of sunshine. 24 today in Sudbury. North Bay getting up to 23. Sunshine across southern Ontario, up towards the north as well. Dryden, a sizzling 28. 32 in Winnipeg, and I mean, it's going to be quite stormy. We already have thunderstorms crossing the boundary from Saskatchewan into Manitoba, just northwest of Winnipeg, but know that this afternoon, that thunderstorm risk persists, and there's the risk of seeing some decent-sized hail, maybe 3 to 4 centimeters in diameter, heavy downpours, and very strong winds upwards of about 80 to 100 kilometers an hour. That's in southern Manitoba. We also have that risk right around Edmonton later on today to see these convective-style thunderstorms developing. So, Alberta, you know, keep an eye to the sky. Saskatchewan, I mean, you don't have nothing to worry about. Just enjoy your sunshine. 26 today in both Saskatoon and the Queen City. Lots of sun into the interior of BC, but very warm and dry weather, and that's amplifying the fire risk. We've been talking about that through the program. This dry weather will persist for the foreseeable future. Canada, that's a look across the country today. Now here's a look a little bit closer to home.